We are now recording.
Fucking ball torture.
Justin?
Titties, ass, shit, motherfucker.
Justin.
He's not here.
Justin.
I told you he's not here.
Justin. Sorry.
Yeah, what's up?
Hi. You're a very valued friend.
I'll let Justin know.
Anyway, last we left off, your group had returned from the Beastlands victorious. Well, when you got back, Trailerine immediately went through the proper channels to take the magic out of the Orb of Dragonkind and steal the magic away, and paid you all handsomely for your work, as she normally does. Leto even got some money, because even though he wasn't supposed to be there, he still basically did the work of a champion, so, you know, like, got some extra cash. After that, you guys went on a spending spree. Yay!
Yay, I'm getting fucking elven chain. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll finally have armor.
Legitimately, I'm not sure why I told you guys you couldn't get stuff when I gave you that amount of money specifically to get stuff. I'll be honest. It might have been the brain fog. Not sure. Henri and Cricket had a conversation, after Henri kind of kidnapped Cricket out of the castle without them supposed to
Kidnapped.
leave the castle.
That's a big word. He has to come along, okay? That's the opposite of kidnapping. He's like, can I tag with you? Yeah, sure, let's go.
You failed the insight check to see why Cricket, for Cricket, and then you failed the perception check to see where Cricket's guard was. You know, their temporary guard. And you're just like, yeah, let's go. Nothing much else happened, I believe. It was mostly just we were just figuring out magic items and their prices and things like that, if I'm not mistaken. If anyone wants to chime in with something that happened last session, please let me know, like, right now, because it was like 3 weeks ago.
It was a lot of buying shit.
All Addie was gonna do was pass a note along to Trailerine to be like, hi, can you get this to Perrin? Thank you. That's it. My shit.
Yeah, I don't believe we did much of else. So, yeah. The session picks up kind of where last session left off. You guys just finished going to your, various jewelers, blacksmiths, weaponsmiths, etc., to commission your magical items. And that's kind of where we are right now. If we want, we can start a new day. Because I honestly don't remember anything that was extremely pertinent.
Sense. Yeah.
So it's a new day in Nova Ether in Sihonavan. You guys are officially off the hook until the winter solstice ball. Actually, probably a little bit after that as well. And you have about a month and a half, 6 weeks. Yeah, a month and a half. No, a month and a week. Sorry, a month and a week of downtime to do whatever you need to do. I believe we said we were going to start with Parm. So, Till, what are you doing?
Yeah. So, very shortly after we get back, Till leaves a note on Addie's desk. And it slips away early in the morning to go fucking borrow a horse. To go back to Port Town, and leaves a note letting Addie know, going back to Port Town. I'm not being stupid. I'll be back soon. And then just, pieces out over to Port Town.
Famous
Not
last words.
going with anyone, because they don't want people to be a voice of wisdom.
What a Till thing to do.
Yeah. Let's see.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey, but I at least left a note.
Yeah.
I left a note.
Yeah.
Responsible.
So, Till, you, early in the morning, you rent a horse, and head out of Nova Ether with your rations and your camping gear, if you have any. I assume you do, because everyone
I would
you
have
need your
some, yeah.
equipment. Yeah, everyone has some in their equipment, so it's probably more or less
Do I
implied.
know how to use it? No.
No. And you take the high road out of Nova Ether, past Lotus City, to Port Town. It is relatively normal. Not much happens on the high road. The people who take it upon themselves to patrol the high road,
I'm
make
not
sure.
getting jumped again? Yay.
Yeah, they take. Well, like there's a reason for that. Um, but uh, the high road once again is very easy to maneuver. There are also people coming to and from different places in Nova East and Sihonavan taking the high road as well. So there's people you who leave from Lotus City, from Lotus City, from Amos. Um, a few people seem to take the whatchamacallit, the merchant caravan routes as well, because it is the rainy season at this time. So there are a few people who do that and kind of meet on the same road a little ways off. But for the most part, the journey takes has very little excitement. There's not much happening. Um, you camp beneath the stars. There's one or two people that invite you to their little. There's one or two groups that invite you to, sit around a fire with them and swap stories of things that have been going on around Sihonavan. Um, how the current state of affairs are. People talking about what the Winter Solstice Ball is going to bring, because there has been talk um that King and Queen Dalen are planning something at the Winter Solstice Ball, some sort of proclamation. It's mostly just rumors at this point, but it does pique your interest because you didn't hear any of that in Nova Ether, but also you guys have kind of been running around these last couple
Busy.
of weeks. Yeah, you guys have been busy these last couple of weeks. So you do hear that King and Queen Dalen are gearing up from some sort of proclamation that's going to be at the Winter Solstice Ball. Speaking of the Winter Solstice Ball, it's mostly all anyone can talk about at this point in time. The preparations, I'm not sure if Till knows specifically, or if any of your characters know specifically, apart from maybe Addie. But the Winter Solstice Ball happens, every year on the Winter Solstice. It's a very lavish event filled with drinking and music and the best food around, from the best food from the best harvest and the best livestock. Um, that side of Lotus River City, really. Um, there is talking and gossiping and regular stuff. I guess it's regular stuff. The run of the mill flirting and people being coy with each other, and also political intrigue as people flirt and be coy with each other. Um and people are excited for this winter solstice ball. They are happy for it every year, but now they're even more interested since apparently something's going to be happening at it. Something that the rumors say will be important for Sihonavan. But beyond that, the trek is easy, normal, and you go a little bit faster without your companions. But you are just a little bit amount of lonely because of the lack of your fellow champions. Um, the absence of all of them uh kind of weighs on you a little bit, but you're able to shrug it off because it's not forever. It's just for a few days.
This is my
And in
first
no
time
time,
traveling alone since I became a champion.
it is. It's just for a few days, and you manage to shrug off the bouts of loneliness as much as you can. And probably fill the time by talking to your horse, if it really comes down to it. But eventually, about
What the fuck is my life that I'm talking to my horse?
Okay, there, fucking Geralt of Rivia.
Okay, there's Sedge.
Arthur Morgan.
yeah, the Sedge talks to Porsche.
Horse talks back.
Yeah, Porsche talks back. That is true.
But in about I don't know how long it takes. Well, you're by yourself and you're on a horse. Say in about 3 days, three and a half days time, you see the familiar the traffic on the high road picks up, and you see the familiar outline, the familiar skyline of the city of Porttown. In another like hour or two, you get to the city limit. Hold on, does Porttown have?
Could you pull up the map of Porttown in
Yes. Let's see. Town maps. Here we go. Glass Forest,
in
Little
roll
Light,
20?
Morgana. Oh yeah. I'm not even in roll 20. I was like, there's no good.
Would it just help when I have the maps up?
Yeah. Probably gives the thing something to look at. The recording something to look at too.
Yep.
Yeah. Completely forgot. I always forget about roll 20.
I'm as Ike's setting this up. I'm curious what the reaction of Addie would have been waking up to seeing the note of till going back to Porttown. Bye. I'll be back.
Depending on like when you left, you would have gotten.
Last crack of morning.
Okay, as crack of morning. After Addie woke up, you would have gotten Till from the sending stone. You still have your sending stone walkie-talkie. I can still reach you at any point.
Yeah, but I didn't want you to like worry that I got kidnapped or something.
And just leave. You could have just said, "Hey."
You were asleep, or you were fucking trancing. Also, I didn't want you to talk me out of it with logic and sound reasoning. I might be stealing from my mother.
Okay. My only concern is that your mother is in Porttown and she's a fucking freak.
Ah, but you see.
However,
I don't have a good counter argument.
However, if you just whatever, you are an adult. I'm not going to stop you. I would be concerned for your safety and ask if you wanted me to come along as backup. But ultimately, I wasn't going to stop you. I was going to voice my concerns of your mother is there and she's a bitch.
But you see, that would have talked me out of it.
How? I would have offered to go with you.
I didn't want to interrupt what your plans were. Whatever your plans were. I don't know if you had plans. I assumed you had plans. You usually have plans.
College, mostly, and having an uncomfortable conversation with Perrin, but, not really looking forward to it, so maybe I'll just avoid it. It's fine.
No, you gotta do what I do. Grab it by the balls, look it in the eyes, and then run the fuck away from it. Was there anything you want me to try to steal from my mother? Because I'm going for stuff about my dad, but if there's any, information you want me to look for that she might have for you?
Shit, this is the player.
I have a question.
Any information that has been going on with the war effort on the Armada front?
Yep. And do.
Thank you. Alright, just...
Wait, why?
Curious, mostly. You don't really
Oh.
hear a lot of things come out of Port Town. Like you'll hear about the big battles and stuff, but like I want the nitty gritty. I'm a nosy bitch.
Okay, fair enough.
Travel safely, Till.
I'm already there. Thank you, though. Click.
Till! I don't think like Addie responds after. I think it's just like he's an adult or they're an adult. I promised I wasn't gonna. I'm going to keep that promise.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Nothing will happen, probably.
Probably.
Anyway, you see the familiar. You get to the castle walls of Port Town. Let's see. That would be at District 6. As you come in from the whatchamacallit, the central area, and people. I don't think people are that cautious in Port Town, really, because about the city walls rather than like the bay and the waterfront area. So I don't remember if you guys got stopped the first time you got to
Nope.
Port Town or not by like city
did not.
guards. Yeah, so you can go right through, and you are in Port Town, and the familiarity of it washes over you. You can smell the salt on the air. You can hear the ocean. The uh, just barely above the din of the entire city at work. The hammering of a forge. The unmistakable sound of hooves on pavement, and people yelling, laughing, just talking. And this is your city, despite everything that happened to you at the hands of your mother. This is still your city. You grew up here. This is where you ran around through alleys and down streets and avenues, where you got where you were given candy by candy shops, on the house, um, and sometimes with the own
I'm
pocket
just so
change.
cute.
Yeah, and sometimes with the own pocket change that you managed to scrounge up before your mother locked you away. What are you doing first?
I think first I'm getting a tavern room for a few nights, like renting one out for a few nights.
Okay.
And then I think my next thing is I'm gonna go around to like the docks and stuff and kind of just ask and see kind of how it's doing. Is trade back? Are ships good? Did us solving the issue in the plane of water fix the like ability for ships to come in and out?
Who's ever doing that? Fuck off.
What?
Don't think I don't fucking see that.
Someone drawing a dick somewhere on the map now?
So you ask around Port Town to see how I'm not answering any non D&D related fucking questions right now. What are you doing again? Seeing how
going
Port
around
Town is?
Yeah, I'm going around the docks specifically because I'm curious how the sailors are doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you're able to go to the docks, and the sailors are good enough spirits. Whatever that you guys did at the plane of water, closing the planar rift there, seemed to do the trick.
Okay, good. So us taking the object out of the plane did close the planar rift. We actually I
Yes,
don't think had ever been given confirmation of that.
yes. So closing, so getting the pearl of nightfall, or the nightfall pearl, whichever one it's called, um, did close the planar rift, and there are no more giant behemoths and krakens or whatever coming out of the plane of water and fucking up ships. So maritime traffic has been good. It's been great even. However, there is something that you kind of hear. And it's that someone isn't happy. And this usually wouldn't be a problem. You know, like, people are unhappy sometimes. But the sailors have been having bad luck out on the sea. You know, like, they're out on the sea and barrels of alcohol seem to keep rolling off into the ocean. Food seems to be spoiling faster than usual. It just seems like a lot of bad luck has been befalling the sailors of Port Town, and no one is quite sure why, but there are whispers that it has something to do with the god.
Oh, not these motherfuckers. Okay. Can I, like, go directly to kind of, like, one of the captains that, like, I'm probably friendly with?
Yeah, sure.
And kind of just, like, directly, like, ask questions?
Yeah, go
He's
ahead.
probably on the older side, like, been in this
Mhm.
long enough. It's the I'm gonna retire. Like, everyone kind of looks at him and probably goes, like, when the fuck is he gonna retire?
Never.
And he's
Never
like,
is the answer.
I'll die out on the sea before I retire.
Yeah, basically. Old crotchety man that looked at Till and went, "You're a whippersnapper brat, but I respect the hard work."
Yeah, so you can find this dude. Let me just pull up fantasy name generator
Yep.
really quick. These names fucking suck. Barts, really?
I love that one.
Shut up.
Wait, what was the name again? Say it one more time.
And then one of the names that popped up was just Barts. like
That
like
sounds
a,
like an old sailor
Fucking
name to me.
Bart Simpson.
no, not Bart, Barts.
Oh.
Perfect.
Like a dog. Barts.
Yeah,
Barts.
that's a perfect sailor man to be like,
Oh.
my parents didn't have the time to name me. They just heard a dog talking.
That was good enough for them, so it's good enough for you.
Back in the good old days, we didn't take no shit.
Anyway. His name is Sergius Vesk. I'll put his name in the chat.
Fucking Sergius.
Shut up. It's better than fucking Bart.
Take bark any day.
Shut up! No one asked you. PC.
Can we say his middle name's Bark?
Fine.
Military men are all fucking assholes to one another.
True.
What the hell is going on in the NPCs
What
channel?
do you mean?
But what do you mean?
What? You guys are doing the A?
For Athelsfin.
Dude, that was
Those are
months
like-
ago.
It was months ago. How am I just now seeing this?
Because Ike is gonna be so confused.
Bro, you literally put Alona, goddess of
Bro, situational awareness.
I didn't even see. Anyway, you're able to find Sergius very easily. He is on a rare moment not out on the water, but is overlooking his crew, stack and load up his ship. And he's a grizzled old human-looking man, smoking pipe that's probably older than he is.
My
Definitely older
grandpappy
than-
gave this to me way back.
Definitely older than I am.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of sit on a crate across from him and I'm like, so I hear you having some bad luck.
Sergius looks at you, says, "Ain't you ever heard of manners, kid? How are you?"
Want the actual answer or the short answer?
Don't backtalk me. Don't backtalk me, son. What do you need?
I'll backtalk you if I want.
Spoken like a true sailor. Now, what do you need?
I mean, so you may have heard that I have a
I
champion
hear
of
everything,
Sihonavan.
and also nothing. My hearing's
Yeah, I
going.
know, your ears are going, I'm aware. That's why do you think I'm talking so fucking loud?
You don't have to shout!
I'm not fucking shouting, you old crotchety bastard! So, plane to water closed, all good. Heard there's some bad luck, though, going on?
Sergius brings a hand up to his pipe and puffs a few puffs. It's like, yeah. Bad luck out in these waters. And we don't know, well, the youngins don't know why, but old Sergius here, he knows why.
Yeah, who pissed in the god's, sacrificial cup or whatever?
I don't know who kissed in anybody's cups, but from what we've heard, from what I know, the three goddesses, they ain't getting along.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit.
Well, fuck. That's not good.
It sure ain't, kid. Especially for us sailors here.
Yeah. Be
Thinking we're
desperately
all
trying
cursed
to
and
find
whatnot,
the
but
fucking link to the
I-
god list.
I don't believe in curses. That's all just hearsay.
I mean, lycanthropy's a curse.
Bless you.
Werewolfism.
I don't know what that is. Is that one of them newfangled things the kids are talking about?
I love this man.
No, you dumb fuck. You're people that turn into wolves.
I think that's one of them new age things. I don't want to hear about that.
Oh my fucking god.
That seems very unprofessional to go turning into animals.
You talking about them damn furries? You one of them
Wait.
personas?
So which one of the three gods are like...
Furry's cannon. Furry's cannon.
Which one of the gods are pissed off now, though? Or are they just all not getting along?
You didn't hear this from me, but old Sergius got connections within these here temples. And the DM's gonna bring up the fucking gods list because I don't remember what their names are. Hold on.
Like a
It's
real.
Umberly, Joaquin, and Timora.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, a real someone else.
Yeah, real is someone else. The other gods might come up at some point or another. You never know. Salune did.
Aurel's the one that
Oh,
maybe knows Ember? Question marks.
Teehee. Question mark. Oh yeah, hold on. Here we go. Sergius says, it's Umberly. Umberly ain't getting along with her sisters.
Why?
Who knows why? Who knows why the gods do anything? What was that?
I'm rapidly learning it's petty spite is the reason why they do shit.
Petty spite. That sounds about right.
Yep. So, I have another question for you.
What's
You've
going
been
on,
around here
kid?
for a while.
I
Yeah?
have.
You ever hear of a man called Claudius Rainmole?
Sergius puffs on his pipe a few more times. Says, Claudius Rainmaw. Claudius Rainmaw.
Would have been around here about 20 years ago.
No, it sounds familiar. Claudius Rainmaw. Yes, I remember when he was young, maybe about your age. That was when
When
I
was
was a
that?
lot younger man, of course.
How long ago was that?
How old am I again?
Well, I'm 20.
Are you?
I'm
God
21.
damn it. Your kids are getting older.
That's how aging works, Sergius.
Don't tell me about aging, boy. I know exactly how aging works.
Looks him up and down. You sure damn well do.
He gives you a fond smile. Yep, spoken like a true sailor. Now back to this Claudius Rainbow. It was when I was probably first starting out, rising through the ranks, trying to get my ship of
Wait,
my own,
that would have been
manifests
like
of my
50
own.
years ago then.
Well, I started late in life, kid. I was only around maybe 30
Okay, so
when I
30 years ago. You're 60
yeah,
something, right?
sure.
You're just confusing
Anyway.
this poor guy.
Kid.
Time doesn't no longer exist for the old.
I love how Ike can hide behind not having anything concrete for this character, with him just having dementia and not remembering or something. He's like, yeah, I'm that many. Sure.
Sure.
Shut up.
I guess my eyes are
Shut
blue.
up.
I'm this
Uh,
many. Holds up 5 fingers.
I'm
No,
at
he
least
holds up like 3 fingers. He's missing like 2 of
Yeah, I
them.
was just thinking that.
lost them to a shark or some shit.
Yeah. So, okay.
I'm
I'm
at
20. Would
least
this have
10
been...
years old.
Well, okay, so if I'm 20, 21, would this have been before I was born that you saw him?
Oh yeah, way before you were
Okay.
born. He was a fresh face around here, all sparkling eyes, had all his limbs on account of not being in the water too long, getting, eaten by sharks. All very complicated stuff to you, I'm sure. But Claudius was a good man.
Was he a sailor?
He wanted to be a sailor, but he didn't love the sea. Not like I did. Not like some of these other men and women do. He always had let's just say his heart was always on land. He couldn't have been a sailor. And
His heart
eventually
was with
left.
Anne Black Pearl?
Now that's just a rumor.
And Hill kind of just smiles a little bit and is like, uh-huh.
Yeah, there was rumors that Anne Black Pearl had taken up with somebody. But she was always tight-lipped, and honestly, that iron fist of hers, he used it in more ways than one. Uh, Metaphorically and physically speaking. Of course.
So it gets that image of thinking about when, like, that intrusive thought of thinking about your parents fucking. And it's just like that moment of like the iron hands more like used for more things, and it's just like, ugh.
It's like, hey, whoa, I don't need to know that much.
I meant that she punched people a lot.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Well, I'm just making sure you do. Now that was a rumor that Anne Black Pearl had taken up with somebody, and all of us here in Port Town, of course, never believed them rumors. Anne Black Pearl, she, I don't think she would have told anybody, but she's a countess, and stuff like that don't go unnoticed. It wasn't until after Claudius disappeared that we all kind of found out she was pregnant, but it just didn't add up.
How long was he around here before he up and disappeared?
Claudius was
Overtake?
Claudius was in and out of Port Town. You gotta understand. He was always
Yeah.
going on some other adventure, not adventure, but on some. He always had business around Sihonavan doing something or other. Very tight-lipped about it. What he told us, it was manifest work, inventories. But of course, the hell is there an inventory here in Sihonavan for? What was he taking stock of? So we all knew he was lying, but Claudius was a smooth talker and always kind of weaseled his way out of them situations.
Can you tell me more about him? Like, just stupid, small stuff if you remember it.
Yeah, sure, small stuff. Let me get my thoughts here.
They're scattered across time and space.
They sure are.
And the fact that I probably have something wrong with my lungs, that walking pneumonia or whatever it's called.
What's my name again?
Claudius, as I know him, he used to live in Emermont City. He was born and raised there, from what I understand.
Alright, could you repeat that?
Claudius Rainmall was born and raised in Emermont City.
Yeah. You know his. You probably don't, but like favorite food, personality, other than
Oh
smooth
yeah, his
talker?
favorite food. He had quite the appetite for crabs. He loved catching them sons of guns, and we could barely stop him out on the sea from boiling them up in the galley, right fresh from the catching. Um, he denied it, of course, but he would absolutely go to town on them things. It was no secret. His personality, he was the nicest man that I've ever met. That's for certain. Always a willing to lend a hand, which is why he was always out on the sea. Whenever some sailor couldn't make it or fell ill, he was always picking up the slack. And uh, smiled a lot. Claudius and I only worked together a few times, but we got real close. He always was
You,
asking me for advice.
you think he would have liked me if I had had a chance to meet him?
And Sergius looks at Chitil and
And
props
Till's kind of
himself up.
starting to like very obviously tear up a little bit.
And Sergius gives you a pat on the shoulder, says, "Another thing about Claudius' son, he always wanted kids. He would have loved you."
Yeah.
He always wanted to find a nice gal, settle down, maybe in Emermont City, maybe in Port Town, and give his children the type of life he never could have had.
Yeah. Thanks, Sergius.
Of course, Till.
And I'll try to figure out what's going on with the gods and help with that.
See it that you do, because if one more barrel of my fine alcohol goes
Have you guys
sliding
tried
right off the
offering
side,
the fine alcohol to
what?
Umberly?
What? No, I don't think so. What?
Well, maybe try offering like deliberately offering a fine thing before you ship off.
You think we don't do that already? She is just not pleased.
Fair enough. Okay.
And Sergius goes back to smoking his pipe, yelling at the people loading up his ship.
And Till will take a little bit to help load up the ship just kind of as like a distraction, and to kind of pay back the information Sergius gave them.
Yeah. It takes maybe about another like 30 minutes to an hour to do everything, but your arms burn pleasantly with the physical exertion that you've done. And you and Sergius exchange a few more pleasantries, shit talking each other. And what else do you do?
I would then, kind of having gotten all that information, like that kind of covered my bases. Till was worried they'd have to like wander around town to try to get information about their dad. But they actually no, they still will kind of go around to some of the other older sailors that they know, and kind of just not as like in-depth conversation, but kind of just like get the vibe of from more people about like from what Claudius was like
Yeah,
weird habits he might have had.
Yeah, you're able to do that. Claudius, he was the type of person who always spoke the god's name out loud, which is kind of like, it's not a taboo, but it's seen as like, hey, don't do that. But he didn't seem to care. He, once again, like Sergius said, he was always kind of in and out of Port Town, doing work and odd jobs around the country, but no one could actually really pin down exactly what he did. He did a lot of work in Immermont City, of course, but there was also doing stuff in Nova Ether and Lotus River. He did actually, you talked to one of the sailors. Probably if we want to like retcon this, Sergius tells you that he actually had a house here in Port Town when he wasn't staying at the temples or whatever like that. When he saved enough money, he actually like not rented, bought like a small house.
I'm immediately going over there. If
Yeah.
if it's like boarded up and abandoned or someone's bought it.
Yeah, so let's see. Let me go back on roll 20. Oh, shit. Why do I have 3 windows open? Yeah, so you were able to Sergius is, despite his failing memory, he is able to tell you kind of the vague location of where where Claudius kind of lived. And he lived in the not too far from the docks, actually, in the Catwalk district. That's District 2. And when you get there, you understand kind of why he was why he lived there. Let me circle it really quick. It's not too far from the docks that you can't hear the ocean, but it is facing away from it, so you do have it's I say a house, but it's very high up. So it's more like a condo, like a fantasy condo.
Yeah.
And
Closer to
it's a
the
little bit
sun.
high up, so you can see just past the walls of Port Town to the rest of Sihonavan and beyond. And that's kind of where the windows are. And it's
Is it boarded up, like abandoned, or?
it is not boarded up, nor is it abandoned. You're able to go straight up to the condo that he owns, and when you try the door handle, it is locked. But roll me an investigation check.
Oh shit! I had grabbed my dice and then put them back. I moved my character sheet. That is a 17.
17. You look around, trying to figure out how you're going to get into this door. into this fantasy condo, thinking you
Ondo,
might
you
have
should
to,
say.
yeah, trying to figure out if you have to either break down the door or pick the lock. When you happen to see kind of like in the brickwork, there is a little bit of a loose brick. Excuse me. And when you go to pull it out, emboldened by your curiosity,
As always.
you on the other side of this brick, the part of the brick that was in the wall, there is a ornate looking key.
I mean, I'm gonna take the key and unlock the door.
And you do. And you walk into this house, this condo. And the weird thing about it is that it looks, even though there are sheets on all the furniture, even though that it does look like it's not been touched, about as long as you've been alive, it doesn't look like it's been abandoned. It looks like someone has been coming here every so often, and the very least making sure that nothing is in disrepair and that it hasn't, fallen into pieces. It looks like somebody comes here maybe at least once or twice a week and dusts down the furniture, well, the sheets really, dusts down anything that's not piece of furniture, the mantle, things like that, cleans the windows, and then leaves. You walk around and there is a bedroom full of knickknacks, a closet full of clothes, button downs, collared shirts, sweaters and turtlenecks made of wool to beat back the biting wind and cold of the sea. Um, um, the bed looks made. No one's, obviously sat in it or laid in it, but the bed is made and the sheets are clean. And you take a deep breath and breathe in the smell of sea salt and uh, clove and lye that has most likely been left on these clothes from being washed. And you walk around the interior of this condo and run your hands over the kitchen set. There is, a wood stove, a pantry with nothing in it. Obviously. Uh, and there's knickknacks and baubles everywhere. Sea glass, sun catchers, wind chimes outside of the window. There are little pieces of there are bones from unidentified animals. Um, Various types of swords, um, finesse weapons, really. So rapiers and short swords and whatnot. Things that are easily held with one hand, with while like doing other stuff. Uh, you see some leather armor, boots, shoes of in various colors and styles. Didn't pin Claudius as like a guy who loves his shoes, but goddamn does he have a lot of them. And you just go around your father's house, taking it all in. Uh,
I am kind of looking for any. First off, like I'm definitely taking shit from the house, but I'm looking kind of for any journals, like a library or something.
uh,
Secrets.
he does have in a spare room it's like two bedrooms and then like the living room, what. Um, in the spare room off to the side, You see, yeah, there are like bookshelves and things like that. Full of books, of course. But there is a closet, and when you open the closet, your heart simultaneously drops in your stomach and gets caught in your throat. Because what you see is boxes. And apart from the boxes, this is a pretty big closet. Apart from the boxes, there
Man,
looks
man has
like
a walk-in closet.
well, there's a crib in there.
Oh. Oh, or no.
There is a crib in there painted in birch wood. Probably imported from the blinds. Which does the blinds have birchwood?
Sure.
Yeah,
Would have
sure.
had to be right before the war fucking started too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it got
So
imported.
imported from the blinds, made of birchwood with a light blue mattress, and it looks like in this kind of larger closet there is just pile upon pile of things for a baby.
Oh fuck. He'll kind of, I think, just sits and just looks through all of it while just
Yeah,
absolutely sobbing.
there's pacifiers, baby clothes, mobiles.
Are there anything that looks like like something that he made?
Yeah, it looks like there was like a hand woven blanket. Or maybe it's like a quilt. Yeah, sure, it's a quilt. A handmade quilt. And even with your rudimentary understanding of sewing, do you know how to you know anything about still know anything about
I
sewing?
was being taught by Owain a little bit. Tail would have known, but Mavis was teaching them how to crochet.
Okay, so with your understanding of quilting, crocheting, etc., you can see that it's not very it's not very well made, but it was made with love. There are deep there are waves that were quilted in, and um and a moon and stars, and it looks like the sea on a quiet but clear night, framed in blues and whites. So yeah, Claudius kind of quilted a blanket for Till, for you, when you were before you were born.
Bella's just sitting there, clutching that shittily quilted blanket and just sobbing.
Yeah, there were other boxes inside of this room as a whole, and it looks like things that were in here were being kind of like they're in the middle of being half dismantled. And you deduce pretty easily that this was supposed to be a nursery. This was supposed to be the room that you grew up in with your father.
He had no idea what was going to happen to him. Because why would you start making a nursery if you knew that might be the end result? Is there any more of his journals?
If you go back into his room, and roll me another investigation check.
19.
19. So, you are looking through everything, kind of feeling up the walls, trying to see if there's any like hidden passages or whatever. But then you open up the bedside drawer and feel around, and there is a false bottom in one of them. And you kind of finagle it open, and yeah, there is a journal. And where do you crack that bad boy open at? Middle, end, beginning?
I
Read the
think I'm gonna
entire
crack it
thing?
open at the end.
End? Okay. So, you crack it open at the end, and you see the date is about 20 years ago. About 21 years ago, really. And um, in it, it says uh, day day whatever, I don't care. Of actually actually till when's your birthday?
Hold on, let me pull up the calendar. No!
Oh no.
No!
Oh no.
It's whatever fucking day of mourning the year. It's the beginning of the year. It's
Oh yeah, the day of heavy rain.
yeah. So the 10th day of as a Cius.
Is
Yeah,
a
it's the
Kai.
day of rain.
Okay. Okay, so the last date seems to be uh Brydon. And it is day 153 of Brydon. Brydom, yeah, Brydom. And it says, um, this is the year that next year is going to be Marilune. Sorry, I had to think about what the fucking thing was. Next year is going to be Marilune. And by this time next year, I will have a child. Um, Countess Anne, as she does not particularly like me calling her Annie, is heavily pregnant, and I am more than happy to be sharing this world with my future child, to be taking them all across Sihonavan for the holidays, to love them as my parents could not love me. Um, it is as exciting as it is, it's quite honestly frightening. I never expected that when the Countess fell in love with me that I would. No, I never expected when I fell in love with the Countess that she would fall in love with me too, and together we are creating something new and beautiful. I I'm honestly at a loss for words, but the nursery is coming along well. I have far too many books, but now they're now I suppose I'll have to have that many books, but children's books and young books for young children just learning to read and expanding their horizons in their mind. These are very unprecedented times in Sihonavan at this moment, but I have no doubt that we will all come out better for it on the end. If only I could convince Anne of that. Um, as of late, she's been moodier than usual. I chalked it up to hormones, of course, but something is going on. I'll have to talk to her tonight about it. And that's where the last entry ends.
And until just like kind of sobs dad. And just is kind of just crying because clearly this was when they can kind of guess that this is probably what led into the vision that Henri had of him leaving, and then he probably died shortly after this. Sorry, not died, was murdered shortly after this.
That's a better way of putting it.
And they're just sitting there kind of trying to take in as much as who their dad was as a person. like trying to get knowledge from ghosts. Is how do you encapsulate someone's life with the things they've left behind in a way that's meaningful?
Yeah, so this is Claudius's house, and you're just kind of walking his ghost through it, through yourself.
I think I call Henri up on the sending stone. He's kind of sitting in his kitchen, you know, like sitting in Claudius's kitchen, having just kind of another breakdown.
Henri's office, what do you want?
Hold on, I gotta fucking turn my gain down so you can actually hear me cry. Henri!
Till, where are you? Are you okay?
I'm in Port Town, and I found my dad's house. He's making a nursery.
Probably like silence.
He
on
was
the other
making
line.
a nursery, and he made a really badly quilted blanket for me.
You found his home
He has a house
in Port Town.
here in Port Town.
Are you there right now?
Yeah, I'm in the kitchen just crying.
Till, this is important to you. Do you need me to come? I can leave right away.
I don't know.
Well,
He was
take some-
excited to be my dad.
Anybody would be, Till. I can tell
And
you
my
that.
mom murdered him.
Oof, that one
She
stings.
murdered him and then kept everything about him from me. He stole the chance I had to have a dad.
It seems like he's found you again, at the very least, in his own way.
Ghosts can't be dads.
You would be surprised.
Appleton is an outlier and should not be counted in this statistic.
It's not exactly what I mean. Often, I find that oftentimes the most impactful aspect of someone are the after images that they leave behind when they're gone.
I don't want after images, I want my dad.
I know, Till, I understand. And I know it isn't fair. I wish I could say there's some way to make it better, but
And it's not even dusty in here, so clearly someone's still coming here and cleaning it.
it sounds like to me that your dad was important to a lot of people.
Sailors down at the port love him.
I'm sure who's ever keeping his apartment tidy must too. Maybe they'll come back around.
Maybe it's my mom.
If that's the case, maybe it's best you don't stay in that apartment longer than you should.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a few things of his and some of the journals I found, and then go back to my the tavern I'm renting.
How about you tell me the name of the tavern? I can leave right away if you need me there.
You'll be here in like 3 days.
I'll figure out a way to get there faster.
Yeah, okay. And he'll tell him the name of the tavern.
All right, write that down. Just want to make sure you do want me there, don't you, Till?
I do, yeah.
Grab whatever you need, whatever you want. Make your way back to the tavern, and I'll be there.
In like 2 days.
Henry's gonna steal a griffin. My boy!
Well, we'll see about that. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Uh,
And Till hangs up the sending stone and then kind of goes around and grabs a few knickknacks, a few of his shirts. Just kind of stuff that screams what they think screams Claudius. And then
Mm-hmm.
heads out, leaving the key back where they found it originally.
And your eyes puffy and bloodshot, tear tracks on your face. You try to clean yourself up as much as you can before of heading out of Port Town, out of this condo and back into the streets of Port Town, where you go back to your tavern that you're renting, the tavern room that you're renting for the next couple of days.
Yeah. And Till kind of waits, gives it 2 hours. And then no, Till's not emotionally stable enough to know that they can get away with breaking into Anne's house right now. They're smart enough to realize this, that they should not be doing that right now because they might light the house on fire. That would be unproductive. They're just waiting. At least until the next day, and then if Henri's still not there, they will go.
Yeah, so you busy yourself a little bit trying to get your mind off of things by
I keep
walking
reading.
through.
No, I'm reading. I'm starting from the beginning of the journal.
Oh, you're
Also,
starting at the beginning of the journal?
Yeah,
Oh,
I would have grabbed
okay.
any other journals that I saw, stuff that like he was writing.
Yeah, you grab a few more of the journals. It looks like he only kept the most recent one in his bedside table in the whatchamacallit, in the secret compartment. But the other ones were on his bookshelf. With like labels on them. So you have the latest one is like volume 10, where it just kind of ends abruptly. And you do kind of see with another sinking feeling that he had like a lot more journals, um, presumably to fill those up as
Yeah.
as he raised you, and also one or two for you for when you got old enough to start maybe even wanting to. And then you grab a few books that well
It's well
worn,
loved. Yeah.
yeah, well worn, read multiple times, probably his favorites, and you head back to your tavern and crack those bad boys open.
Yeah, and that's just how I'm spending at least the rest of the day. And I am fine switching over to other people because this seems like a good transitional point.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Um, who wants to go next? Bones, I do know you have to leave at 11. Did you want to go next?
Yeah. I
If
think
everyone else is
all I
okay with that?
really- Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Because like I think the only thing I really want to get done for Addie today is talking with Trailerine and maybe talking with Perrin.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think working on the spell to magic Addie's tattoos off.
Mm-hmm. All right. So after you wake up the next day, see Till is gone. see the note, and you have your conversation with Till. You're like, all right, Till's not coming back anytime soon. Might as well do my business with Trey Lorraine. So you get up to her, not to her, you get up to Castle Dalen and request an audience with her, and since you are a champion, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Two guards, of course, flank her quarters, and you politely knock and enter through it. And this is one of the rare times that you've entered Trailerine's quarters without your fellow champion. As usual, she is at her desk, all the way at the end of the all the way at the end of the room, and it looks a little. Her office looks a little bit more neat than usual, and Cricket is there, like filing things, and they give you a wary look before going back to their business. And there is that female guard who is supposed to be who's supposed to be guarding Cricket, and they just kind of give you a nod, but otherwise say nothing. Trailerine is at her desk, scratching something, writing something out with a quill and parchment, and in her other hand is a sending stone, and it sounds like she's talking to Eridonis. But as you approach, she says, yes, let's pick this up later, Eridonis. I have a matter to attend to. Thank you. I don't even know if that's Trailerin's voice, because I did not practice my voices. My bad.
Close enough.
But yeah, she sees you approach and says, "Ah, Champion Addie, what can I do for you?"
Apologies for the early interruption, Archmage. I am unsure where Perrin is at the moment. He is a part of the B team, I believe. I was hoping you could pass along a message to him.
Perrin, part of the Perrin. Hold on.
A druid.
Oh yes, one of Priest Vomer Soul's disciples, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And you would like to speak with Perrin and not Vomer?
It's a more personal matter.
Ah, yes. I suppose we could send a letter post haste to him. I do have contacts with Volmer, so it should not be hard to figure out where Perrin is at the moment.
That is deeply appreciative, Archmage. I realize that you're quite busy.
It's fine. I need to take a break from all of this, and she gestures to her desk. Anyways, and she says, Cricket, please come here, dear. And Cricket gets up and walks over to the desk, and Trailering goes, Cricket, can you please find uh the scroll the not the scroll with Volmer's schedule for this month, please. And Cricket nods and goes to one of the many bookshelves and starts looking through it. And Trailerine says, Cricket will find the schedule for us. Volmer sends a schedule for where they plan to be per month for each temple. Hopefully he's somewhere nearby. I'm not quite sure. We don't have many temples to Maleki here in Nova Ether. But we do have enough, so hopefully he'll either be here soon or he'll be somewhere nearby where it won't be too much of a hassle to get to him for you. And by association, of course, Perrin.
I don't think we did not tell Trailerine about Luna, right?
No, you do not.
Okay, cool. She has no fucking clue about the. Got it. All right.
Yeah, you guys specifically was like, we're not telling Trailerine shit.
Okay, I didn't know if that also included like if it was a fabrication of like, yeah, we found Maleki unconscious on the ground. She looked like she got hit with a steel chair. Don't know by who.
Nope, y'all didn't even say anything about Maleki either.
Cool. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure for myself. Yeah, I think Addie is patiently waiting, fairly calm, but I think is studiously ignoring Cricket for the moment.
Cricket you do see that Cricket has one ear kind of tuned back to you, since their back is turned. Normally this wouldn't be an issue. Normally you wouldn't see this, or Cricket wouldn't even be doing this. However, there is a certain guard who is missing that Cricket trusts their life with implicitly. But in about like 5-10 minutes, Cricket manages to find the appropriate scroll schedule, and Trailerine unfolds it out and looks it over and says, yes, it is what month is this?
No, I don't even know anymore. Hold on.
That is both Trailerine asking and me, the player, asking. Hold on. Fucking calendars.
We're like 6
yes,
weeks away from the winter solstice.
Yes. Here we are. It is Gryon, day. Yes. Let's see. You're in luck, Daddy. They're in Lotus River City.
Lotus River City. All right. Thank you very much.
Of course. If you need anything else, please do not hesitate to let me know. But I do have to get back to work. Eridonis gets cranky when we're interrupted.
I can only imagine. Good day, Archmage. Apprentice Cricket. Guard Captain. Or no, not Guard Captain. Hold on. I don't know what this guard's name is.
I don't remember what her name is either. I made it up on the spot. Ah, fuck.
I don't know. I'll just give like a polite sort of head tilt to her.
Yeah, the guard nods back, and Cricket eyes you, but says nothing, and you can leave. Looks like they are in Lotus River City, which, as Addie knows, is right across the river. Maybe a days and a half journey, if that, really.
Yeah, I think Eddie will stop by the house, grab some things. Because this is not something she wants to wait, otherwise her anxiety will get the better of her. And it also kind of works out that they're not in Nova either, because then she could just leave. she doesn't have to worry about anyone knocking on her fucking door. At least for a little while. So she'll hop on a horse and head over to Lotus River City.
Okay. Do you send word ahead, or do you just try to find them?
I send word ahead. I'm being polite.
Okay, so that is no problem. Yeah, so you head over to Lotus River City. Do I have a map for Lotus River City? Is the main question. I accidentally put a lot of folders in the Roll20 thing, because I don't know how to use Roll20 anymore. I changed it too much. Morgana, Port Town, Flip, Grey Crest, Emermont City, Nova Ether, Port Town, Morgana, Little Lake, Last Forest, Village. Do not have one for Lotus River City. Check.
Damn, Lotus River really just got
I don't think
tossed to the wayside.
I don't think you guys have ever been to Lotus River City.
Nope. Not in game, at least.
Yeah. I'll make one later. But yeah, you go to Lotus River City, and do you head to the temple, or do you ask Perrin to meet you somewhere?
Somewhere else. I'm not doing this shit in the fucking temple.
Teehee.
Yeah, because someone's gonna be like heretic, and I'm gonna get burned at the stake or fucking whatever. I don't know. No, let's see. I think not somewhere public. I think like outside the city.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere nice, like a secluded area, sort of a deal where we won't be bothered.
Okay. Yeah, so you meet up with Perrin, and Perrin goes, Addie, it's great to see you again. I do admit this is a bit unexpected, but I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you as well, Perrin. How have you been?
Oh, I've been great. On the road a little bit too long, but we get the 2 months for the winter solstice and then intervellum off, and then of course the day of heavy rain. So we're getting close to our little self-imposed break here.
I hope it's nice.
I hope so too. I can't wait to get back to. I think he's from Eclipse. I can't wait to get back to Eclipse and see everyone again.
Right. I'm sure your journeys will be rather pleasant and hopefully safe.
Oh well, with the champions of Sihonavan around, and he kind of gives you a nudge with his elbow. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Gods. Right. Champion business, that's a good segue. Perrin, I'm not sure how much Trailorine has informed you. Your party, the goings on of mine. But very recently, we just got back a few days ago actually. We went to Beastlands.
Oh, how was the Beastlands? That was it. It wasn't scary, was it? I have no idea what is on the other side of those portals. I can't imagine anyone can describe it well. Can you? How would you describe it?
Very different. The days were long, so were the nights. Trees taller than the eye could fathom. There was one tree at the center of the plain, perhaps, that was miles wide around, that stretched so far into the sky you lost track. You couldn't even see the top. I learned some things while I was in Eastlands. One of which was that it is Maleki's domain.
It's it's her goddess's domain. That must have been amazing to be there.
Parent, I want to give you the choice to learn what I've learned.
So is everything okay?
No. I think Addie touches her facial tattoos for a moment. I've rehearsed this conversation so many times in my head, and it's all coming up blank. I don't and this is going to sound very manipulative, I don't want to influence your faith or decisions. But after this conversation, I no longer a devotee, Maleki.
And parent's face just drops. What?
And
What do you?
and depending on your decision, I cannot be friends with you
Hey, Moss, can you?
after this.
I'm sorry, you're speaking a little quietly. Can you talk a little louder?
Oh, sorry. And depending on your answer to this conversation, I can no longer be friends with you.
Addie, that's what? What? I I don't understand. What happened?
Are you sure you want to know?
I'm I'm not sure. You're scaring me.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to. But I need a yes or a no, parent.
I I I trust you, so I suppose yes.
Right. And Addie will tell him sort of like the journey through the Beastlands, getting to the tree, exploring the tree, and then meeting Alona, Cricket's goddess, and seeing Maleki unconscious, confirming that Maleki is alive. But she hunted unicorn satyrs, parent.
I'm sorry, Addie,
Nearly
but
extinction.
what's a unicorn satyr?
Cricket is. Parent saw Cricket. He was a part of the thing. He saw Cricket.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh shit, he was. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking about somebody else. I was thinking about Volmare. My bad. Um, is is that what that was? A unicorn satyr?
Yes.
I thought satyrs weren't. They aren't a thing on the Arvosette Peninsula, Addie.
Cricket's not from Peninsula.
Where are they from?
I don't rightly know. But Maleki had her followers hunt them for sport, not for any real reason or need, just for the thrill, the honor and glory. And those who actually managed to kill a satyr were deemed her most devoted and enshrined underneath the tree I told you about. Their trophies remaining with them even after death. I cannot fault goddess that so easily calls for a genocide. I just can't, parent. And
I
I'm so sorry for everything, and I thought about not saying anything, and that just felt disingenuous, but wouldn't people deserve to know, or is it better to keep it to myself? And there's just no right answer. It all just fucking sucks.
I don't know what to say.
The only really.
I believe you, Addie. Don't doubt that. But this is all I have. What am I without this?
People are always more than their fate, parent. People have the capacity to be good and kind and whatever else however you think of yourself. You don't need faith to affirm that.
And you're certain that this happened? That this Alona is telling the truth?
I am. I found the graves of Maleki's most devoted, the epitaphs of those who murdered some of the unicorn Satyr, chipped away, and the trophies were still at the site of the graves. Parent, their names are. I knew their names. They're still in the old texts of the temples. I don't.
And oops, sorry.
I guess this would be like. Would I remember, like, seeing the words unicorn satyr together, or like.
Roll me a history check.
Oh, Addie dice. If I can get my D20. Oh, that was a 19 plus 9. The 28.
You don't remember seeing the words unicorn satyr, but there was a lot of abbreviations and shorthands, with the words uni and also US a lot.
Okay, logical deduction. The exact words weren't in the text, but they might as well have been.
That's and Perrin's face is ashen, and he runs a hand through his hair, um, completely at a loss for words, but he's trying. And he says, I can't believe it. Um, is it okay if I don't give you an answer right away? Can I think about this?
Yeah, you can. I'll be home a while. I'm making a spell to and gestures to the tattoos. Get rid of them.
Yeah, I, yeah. I suppose. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Perrin.
No, don't apologize. Not for this. I can't believe what will the mayor think.
Right, he's here in the city. I don't
We
know.
all are.
I don't. I. This is not. This is not against you, Perrin. Please know that. I don't know if I'm going to stick around because I very well might get drawn and quartered by Bear.
Yes, he's the type, unfortunately.
Such
He
a
wasn't always
fucking.
that bad.
Well,
You have to believe me.
I met him without he was that bad. My opinion of
He
him has only gotten worse.
he used to be just fine, but when the more that Malechi's followers left and the more pressure that was put on him, he just I don't know.
I suppose ultimately it doesn't matter. Something will happen. But you at least deserved to know.
And Perrin pulls you into a hug and says, "Thank you. Thank you for letting me know."
I don't think your welcome quite suffices, but welcome.
And he pulls back and "Hey, stop that." He pulls back and says, "Well, what do we do now?"
Well, would Volmer try and alter the texts to make me out as some sort of crazy person? Part of me thinks so. Part of me also doesn't
Well,
word, but I really don't know at this point.
hold on. Use the restroom. I'll be right back.
All right.
Perrin says that in character.
Sprints off into the bushes. Yay for a loss of faith. It's fucking SpongeBob Rainbow.
Henry doing backflips somewhere.
Henry's like gets the call from Till and he's like on his way, but he's like has the like that shiver of Addie is making more people lose faith. Yes.
He feels a weight get lifted off his body. Just like a very tiny gram every time someone in the country loses their faith. Ah.
I can sleep easier at night knowing the gods are slowly dying. Fuck
On the
those
road, he gets like that shot in anime where wind comes by and leaves like lead in a direction behind him, so he looks back like
fucking wisdom of
something's different about today.
it's fully the sound of you think the wind's trying to tell us something?
Yeah.
Forgotten how to listen. I wish you'd
Yeah.
stop saying odd shit all the time.
That is exactly right. Oh man. Oh, poor fucking Tell, man.
Yeah.
It's rough. Mm-mm. It's a pretty song. Today I was working at the craft show, and in this specific craft show, there's always this group of people who have 3 horses
Mm-hmm.
that they charge $10 a ride for kids. You know, usual shit.
Yeah.
Someone
Mhm.
paid and put like their fucking pit bull on the back of the horse, and it did the whole ride.
Oh my
Isn't
god.
that crazy? It was a pit bull in like a pink dress. That's something else.
Oh.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Just getting a little comfortable. Yep, there we go. Been trying to make a fucking map of Lotus River City. But they updated the thing I used since the last time I used it. Is everyone here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where were we?
Addy stuff.
Yeah. Addie was trying not to get drawn and quartered by the remaining 3.5 people who worship Maliki. Sorry, 2.5 people that worship Maliki. Actually, no, Perrin would be the half. 3 people.
We were joking that there was a physical reaction with Henry, due to Addie helping someone lose their faith.
Oh my goodness. Perrin goes, I don't think he has the authority on that. There's still at least one person who's higher than him. That's the person that gives us our schedules, and they would have to make the order to draw and quarter you. But I'm not sure if they would want such a public display. If you catch my drift.
Do I know who this person is? Is that the Archmage?
No.
Or is that someone else?
It's whatever's higher than like a priest.
Bishop? The
Yeah, I guess
Druid Pope?
it would be either be the bishop or the archbishop of the Temple of Maleki.
Okay. Who's that?
Teehee.
Some fucking like shadowy dude, like holding together the remnants of religion?
Of Maleki's religion, yes.
Okay. And would they try and quarter me for heresy?
Oh, I think so.
Hold on, you cut out a little bit.
I think
Oh,
so.
sorry. I think so.
Oh, wonderful. Would they alter the texts? Who are they? Who the fuck are we talking about?
I've never actually met them myself. I mean, they've done some hunting for Hunt's Mark, but well, maybe I have seen them, but I don't think I know who they are.
That's deeply concerning. Barry, you do realize that's deeply concerning, right?
I've had some other things to worry about.
Besides what I just told you?
Yeah, well, like 20 minutes ago, before you told me all of this, my main concern was making sure all the temples were being upheld properly, and maybe even spreading some of that great Maleki faith. But I'm not sure if I actually want to do any of that anymore.
Fair enough. Right, I'm going to put in some inquiries. I don't know. Maybe you and I at some point can do a fucking text heist where we break in and steal the texts before they're burned or changed or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, that would give me so much anxiety, but sure. Do you want to keep this between you and I? Because if we tell Vomer, he's going to tell the bishop, and
I think that's for the best. At least to figure out next step, because I'm still sort of wallowing in the despair of learning my goddess was a genocidal warlord. Ish.
Sahara. Sorry, I'm barking at the people talking outside. Yes, I promise that I'll give you my answer soon. It's just I need some time to process all of this.
It's a lot.
Does Cricket, call them Cricket, right?
Yes.
Do they even have any family left? Are they the last one?
No, it doesn't sound like it from what the goddess said. It sounds like there's quite the community left. They were just yoinked from wherever they're from to the
Hey,
peninsula.
how did they get here?
Powerful magic, from what I can tell, from what I understand. I don't even know the scope of it. Which, for a mid-level wizard, that's saying something.
This isn't going to help any of the perception of druids here in the. Well, I suppose I don't have my priorities straight. I shouldn't be thinking of things like that, but I can't help but think of what that's going to do to Maleki's reputation. But if what this goddess said was true, then she really shouldn't have much of a reputation to begin with, should she?
No. The real worry is the wrong kinds of people learning. But I think, for now, if this is kept between ourselves, that can be a problem for now. We have time and clearer heads to plan whatever next step, if there is a next step.
I think you're right.
No one's been, like, peeping on us, right?
I thought you said you went to the city limits.
Yeah, but you never know if someone's been. Actually, wait, hold on. I could just negate the worry about people peeping on us by casting Private Sanctum.
Yeah, that's fine.
No longer a problem. And I think after that, I will sort of pat Perrin gently on the shoulder. I'll leave you to your thoughts. I'll be heading back to Nova Eva the next morning. You don't have to give me an answer then, but you'll know where.
Yes, I'll be sure to catch you. Thank you, Addie.
Travel safe, Perrin.
You as well. And you head back to Nova Ether. Your conversation with Perrin playing in your mind, the same way that it's playing in Perrin's mind.
And I think after that, Addie, like, once getting home, would work on the tattoo erasure spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, Ember, was there anything you wanted to do? I think this is a
Um,
good segue.
yeah, I don't have anything super specific. I think Ember might spend a lot of the downtime like in a library doing research, just digging out information to try and like see if she can get a bigger like a fuller picture on information they've learned so far, on
Mm-hmm.
what's coming up on like future planes, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so you can definitely go to the castle library and do that. That would be where they have the most information on.
Mm-hmm.
And you can settle down with stacks of books and get as much information as you need. You do some research on the different planes uh you that you haven't been to already, and find that, oh boy, is there a lot of them. So I imagine that Ember would probably try and take down notes, maybe like bullet notes or whatever, like bullet point notes or whatever on the various planes that there are. You learn about Arborea and the Celestial Lands, the plane of clockwork, the plane of fire, astral plane, the ethereal plane. There are a lot of them.
Yeah, I
So
think I knew this going in. Like
yeah.
Ember would have known that going in. Uh, Definitely. Yeah, without any like specific or direct goal in mind, just yet, is going back
Hmm.
to what she normally does.
Yeah, you even pull up you even manage to find like a book on Feywild, which is something. Does that pique Ember's interest a little bit more than the others would?
Um, it might.
Yeah. You find something on the Feywild, which is um very rare. Just kind of showing just how expansive this castle library is. And you learn a little bit more about the Feywild than you would have otherwise in like the college library or just a typical Nova Etherin library. Um, about how a little bit more wild it is there, the effects of Fey, how time flows, etc., etc. Very interesting stuff. But you don't actually find anything on why the Feywild, you know, doesn't really intersect with the Arbosate Peninsula. Oop, sorry, metal arm. Um, but it is an interesting read, as is everything else that you've picked up in the castle library.
Mm-hmm. Can I dig out
Hmm.
more of Feywild stuff?
Sure, roll me a investigation check.
All right. That's an 18.
So you're able to dig out a lot more stuff on the Feywild about how it's broken up into sections, all ruled by different powerful archfey entities. Um, there is the Queen of the Winter Courts, the Queen of the Summer Courts, um, the River King, the Lord of Silver, etc., etc. Um, all with their own domains, all with their own vices, um, and they all rule their particular entities with not an iron fist, but a very firm one. You learn about not archfey, but fey deals and how binding they can be, how influential fey can be on a person's psyche, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you wonder, maybe your travels will take you there. But if they do, it's not a place that you'll want to be in for a while just because of all the weird shit that happens there.
Oh yeah.
And, the monsters. And the monsters aren't particularly feared for their cunning or their strength or their claws, but it's a different type of monster in the Feywild. One with sharp words and even sharper double talk.
Like even pixies or some shit.
Yeah. But yeah. That's all you're going to do for now?
Yeah, for now. Didn't really have anything planned for the downtime.
Okay, that's no problem. Apart from helping certain somebody rob a grave, maybe.
Yeah, but that's
That'll be
Ember
later.
hasn't been asked about that yet.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
Yeah.
Addie.
Next weekend. That's next weekend.
Yeah, Addie's gonna get like a little drunk going home because the shit's just fucking. Who runs? That's weird. That's weird. Addie's gonna ask Conry. He knows shady people.
Red, weren't you gonna get one of those magic tattoos?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
I did do that. And so, yeah, I guess that would be at some point during that I would think about that, and I wonder if how that would even occur to Ember.
Found it in one of the books of talking about magic tattoos, baby.
Makes sense, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you know that book, that PDF that you sent me?
Yep.
Yeah, you just find that in the library.
Yeah, there's just a tome of mystical tattoos, and Ember's just like, okay, yeah, I'm curious. Starts flipping through it, and it's like, hey, actually, some of these might be really useful.
Why would I look kind of badass with this one?
So yeah, I guess at some point, would be like, I'm gonna be honest, I would be like, I don't even know where to start with this, and then would go seek out Henri.
Yeah, I guess this can happen over during one of the 3 days that Till's traveling to Port Town before Henry leaves. So what's Henry doing? I don't know, feeding fucking birds again or something and failing at it.
You don't have Cricket there to
Okay.
have the birds flock to you.
I was trying to convince myself that it wasn't cricket. It was just I started getting good at it. But nope. They're a couple blocks away, staring at it.
Ember finds you. Can I try feeding the birds to see if they'll come to me? Although an animal
Yeah,
can't do
sure.
it.
God.
Yeah, go ahead.
God, please. That'll be so funny.
Ah, it was cocked. 19. It was almost a natural 20, but it was cocked.
Cock my fucking.
Yeah, the birds kind of flock to you, Ember. Like, they're all kind of giving Henri a wide berth, but they come straight up to your feet and they perch around your shoulders, not getting too close, but definitely better than Henri.
I'll warm them up for you.
Sure. I think it's the scowl. I don't think the birds like being scowled at.
Agree to disagree.
Okay.
It's whatever.
Okay.
What's going on? Is there something I can help you with?
This might be a bit out of the blue, but would you happen to know where I might get a tattoo?
You say I feel like Henry isn't his usual wear. He's probably wearing a shirt that shows his fucking sleeves and shit. Like most of his body's fucking tattooed. He's like, maybe. Are you asking?
Sorry, let me reiterate.
What are you, a narc?
Let me reiterate. A magic tattoo?
Looking around. Are you a fucking narc?
What?
That's quite an ask you're asking for.
Look, do you know or not? I will just go off into the city of myself.
Of course I do. And now I'm obligated to tell you before you end up getting scammed. Magic tattoo like that isn't easy to come by. Lucky for you, I know just the guy.
Okay, please don't make this sound like a drug deal. I get that this is
I'm
funny
sorry,
for you, but this is
my voice just naturally sounds that way. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But yes, I know somewhere we can go.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't found
As long as you keep it between us. I don't want a whole bunch of posers to start showing up.
There's a whole tome of magic tattoos in the castle library. I just want you to know. There might be other copies of that book out there.
All right, it's one thing to read about magical tattoos. It's another thing to actually go to someone who knows how to properly do them.
Yeah, it's probably because they're stupid expensive.
Well, yeah, that, but it's...
Ember, I want to let you know that book that you got was written by someone whose initials were A.L.
Was it written by Athelstan?
No, Amaris Lai.
Alright. It would have been funny as hell if it was,
Fucking
Can you
cult
imagine?
leader!
but yeah,
I
know.
do not remember who Amaris is.
College head.
Oh, yeah, yellow.
He's yellow.
Oh, yellow. Gotcha. Okay. It's like...
But yeah, magic tattoos is an art form that it's hard to find practitioners, you could say. But yeah, I know someone.
Great. Great.
All right, follow me. It's over at this little place called Wild's Eye, just south of the city.
Wild's Eye? I'm not gonna question that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. And I guess Henry would just lead the way.
Yeah, so you take Ember through the streets of Nova Ether to, Nova Ether is an affluent area, but even affluent areas have their shady sides, to say the least. And here we go. Ah, damn it. The hell?
Henry's about to go to
What
one of
the
those
hell?
doors, like knock on it, little things about to shift over. It's gonna say like some stupid ass code word, like Bobby ate a tub of butter on Wednesday, some stupid shit.
Why are my maps blurry? They weren't always blurry.
I'm just looking at this like, am I gonna get an infection here? This place is shady as shit.
You walk in.
If that isn't a
If I
risk,
eat
you're not in the right
tetanus.
place.
Oh my god.
You walk in, and it's made of dark brickwork. But the inside is surprisingly clean. There is a main lobby area with a counter that's a bored-looking young dwarf is behind, just kind of casually flipping through some parchment or ledgers or whatever. And you can hear they don't have radios. I was gonna say the radio. They don't- the fantasy radio sending stone. I don't fucking
Bro, as a
maybe
small
they have like
creature in a cage singing.
they have like a gramophone, so there's just like a wax cylinder playing.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some fantasy classic rock playing from the gramophone.
Lathander's top hits.
Sponsored by the Ford F-150.
This
but
is
it's
Archmage's channel.
it's a surprisingly clean area. The outside looks shady as fuck, but the inside is great. There are a few benches with some upholstered with some upholstered cushions on them and everything like that. And the the dwarf looks up at you guys as you enter and says, "Hey, welcome to Wild's Eye." And he looks at you, Henri. Looks at your arms. You gonna get another tat?
Yeah, is he here? Well, she is.
No, he's not here, but the apprentice is. He's over at Shepherd's Call.
Oh. Do you know when he's gonna be back?
Ugh, it'll be a few days. He he has business.
Oh, man.
But the apprentice is in. You know, they won't fuck you up.
We were looking for something a little bit more special today, but we'll go see him.
Yeah. What did you have in mind?
Look, Henry looks over at Ember because I don't think he really asked what kind of magic tattoo she was going for or whatever.
Oh, really quick, would I have been able to take the book from the library?
No.
You could take like a. Is there a magic photocopy machine? Damn! If Addie was there.
I'm gonna say yes. There is a fantasy photocopy machine in the form
Yeah!
of a human who's just really good at doing that.
I love how much more advanced the tech has become over the last 5 minutes with fancy plastic wrappers.
It's just someone who draws the tattoos. That's the fantasy photocopy.
It's a goblin in a box. You put the page in and he starts drawing it like crazy.
But it, at least would have, like, if there isn't, like, a magic photocopy, did write down, like, the name of the tattoo, and, like, the very rough idea of it. It's like, yeah, found... What I was thinking was this, which is, it's called a map maker's tattoo.
And the dwarf's eyes light up in recognition. Oh, that. Yeah, we have that book here. We can get that for you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, don't sweat it. We do require a deposit up front, but are you gonna stay you're getting the tattoo, and he points to you, Ember.
Yes.
Are you gonna stay the entire time? Are you gonna take breaks? You know, like what's the deal?
I can do it in one sitting.
All right.
How big of a tattoo is this, anyways? Just wondering. I guess it's more a question for out of character, Red. How big of a tattoo is this? Because I haven't seen.
Hold on. I had shared that picture. I believe it's like, where is it?
It's on the legs.
Yeah, I'm couldn't remember if it's on one legs or both.
I think both.
Is it taking up? Ooh, is it taking up your whole leg for both legs, or?
Hold on. Let me find the picture again. That's the wrong channel.
Alchemy jug, badgie.
Let's do has image from
Should I change my profile pic from Autismo?
No. Autismo good.
I would feel weird if you changed it. I've been looking at that for so long now.
I don't know, man. It's up to you. Where the fuck is it? Okay. Oh, yep, there it is. Yeah, it is, like the whole of both legs.
Okay.
I found the image
The
again.
reason I'm asking that, because if Henry sees that, his dad's sensors are gonna go off. If Ember's being like, yeah, I can do it all in one sitting. Henry would be remiss if he didn't say, are you sure you don't want to split it apart? This is your first tattoo. This is gonna take the better part of half a day.
Yeah, and I've got all day to spare. I'm not doing anything.
It's less about the time and more about the how it's gonna feel physically. I know you're used to getting punched around, but
I can manage it.
okay. Hunter, knowing that Ember's a big girl, just nods. He's done his part, warning her. Um, what's out of character? We said like the tattoo was going to be around 3,000 gold or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Hunter already knows the price. He's like, we're gonna be paying 2,800 on account of it being done by the apprentice, and he puts down the money.
Roll a. Roll an intimidation check.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was about to say, please, not persuasion. Okay, I'm good.
Don't
I'm
really
good.
get to. You don't really get to pull out the intimidation much.
That's right. I don't. It's one of my main skills over here. Okay. 15 plus 5, 20.
Okay, yeah, damn. The dwarf looks at you, looks at the money, looks at your arms. Probably recognizes exactly who you are. Says, "All right, yeah, that's fine." Averts his
This,
eyes.
this is how Henry barters. He's just like, this is what I'm paying. Take it.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, that's fine. Princess in the back. I'll let him know.
All right. So yeah, Henry pays him the 28 hundo.
You don't have to pay for it.
Please, this is your first tattoo. Let me take care of it.
Are you sure? I have.
No, it's fine. I'm positive. It's not like I'm really using my money for anything, anyways. Anything important. You're young. You should use your cash to go have fun and whatnot. Man, if your mom could see us now, she would absolutely hang me above a tree. But
Well,
it is
thank
what it
you.
is. Ah, of course. I have to say, I'm a bit surprised. You're so grown now. I didn't thought of you getting a tattoo never really crossed my mind, especially not one that's going to be taking up the better part of your legs. A magic one at that. I guess
Well,
you do have your moments of going big.
well, this one is useful. And I don't know, just been looking for something to help, just to sort of kit myself out a bit more. I can't really do armor, and I don't really need weapons.
No, it's a smart choice to make. I can see why you did it.
And the back is out of the question in terms of a tattoo. So, legs it is.
Makes sense to me. A very eventful tattoo at that. Most people just get their mom's name on their shoulder or whatever, but
Why?
I don't
Look,
know.
I love my mom, but I don't think I'd ever want her name permanently on me.
It's just one of those things where you walk into a shop and it's like one of the 5 things on the first wall, and you're just like, okay, I guess I'm getting that.
Okay, okay, weird.
But I'm glad to see that you're very responsible, even with your tattoos. So
Yeah. I'm glad you approve. I don't know. Wouldn't have really cared either way if you had approved or not. No offense.
none taken. Parentheses. There was offense.
Author's note: there was in fact a fit.
Henry might
I-
not admit it, but he is very happy to be here
I-
for Ember's first tattoo.
I appreciate your support, and I'm glad you're here. If you had said no, I was gonna get one anyways. That's all I mean.
I don't think I have much room to say no, but
Yeah,
I
wasn't.
figured you were gonna do it anyway, so you might as well do it right.
Yeah. I am in my 20s, so your no wouldn't have meant anything.
I figured as much.
But thank you for being here, and thank you for showing me this place.
Oh, of course. All right. I haven't seen this apprentice fellow in many years, so please, good now. We'll see. Let's get this pony show on the way. Guess walk over into the back room.
Yeah.
Where the hell this guy is.
Yeah. Human. Dark skin, dark eyes. Looks up and it's like, oh, Henri.
Hey kid, you any good now?
Yes, I'm good. Are you here for a new owner's out manning the shop in Shepherd's Call.
Yeah, the guy in the front told me.
Yeah.
No, here for her. It's her first tat. I might get something afterwards, but
Oh yeah, let me what do you have in mind? Are you also getting your tattoo in blood like a certain somebody?
no, she's not. No offering necessary either. Just regular old magical tattoo.
Oh, a magical tattoo from Amaris's book, right?
It was, I guess so. Is that where you got it from, Ember?
Oh, I thought you walked into the back room.
I thought I went in with you, for the appointment.
Oh yeah, sure. Just kind of sort of like is looking between this as you mentioned the blood tattoo, and then just like, oh, before, I mean the initials were AL, yes.
Yeah. That sounds like Amaris's handiwork. Yeah, here, sit up right here and we'll get you all tatted up.
Who is Amaris? As I'm getting
Oh,
set up.
Amaris. And the apprentice looks at Henri as if to say, she doesn't know who Amaris is. She's getting a tattoo of him. Not of him, but of his handiwork.
He's the dean, the president of the college.
Okay.
I'm
guessing.
I guess I could say Professor Lai is the more proper term. He's done a lot of handiwork with magical sigils and things like that over the years, so I'm not surprised that you stumbled upon his work.
I think I want to be like Ember is like insightful enough to like after putting together the whole blood tattoos thing, with the whole like oh just a regular old magical tattoo, is sort of figuring that some of this is order business and is looking at Henri as like the dean of the college and is like, right, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
he's done a lot of work over the years. President of the college, real hoity-toity kind of bastard. Heard. I'm not sure if this is true. They used to have lunches with the Archmage, but I don't know about that.
I mean, so long as this tattoo isn't gonna curse me in any way.
No, it's no curses.
Sure, fine.
I'm not. I'm an apprentice, so I'm not actually
He's not
qualified for
registered
that.
for curses.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
those are
right.
slightly illegal, but
You better not fuck
Slightly?
this up, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, only a little bit.
depends on the curse.
Okay. All right. No, I'm just amazed that curse tattoos are only slightly illegal. I feel
Well,
like there'd be
you
more.
can't curse somebody with like their entire bloodline, but you can curse somebody so their clothes are always itchy. It depends.
That feels like that would be the worst curse.
I had it for
Not
a
as
time.
bad as it
It's
could
pretty
be.
bad.
Anyway, let's get you tatted up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
I'm gonna go head to bed.
Yeah, that's
Tired.
fine. We're kind of
Yeah,
about to
I
end
figure.
anyway.
I guess I am.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Robbing
hop off
bed.
too.
Yeah,
Dirty 20.
you handle the pain just fine.
Damn,
Good
what a
night.
boss.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, you handle the pain just fine.
Yeah. I like to imagine it is that joke where you see everywhere that it's like men are like, ah, whereas a lot of AFAB people are just like, huh? I'm taking a nap.
Taking it like a fucking boss. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Another reason to make Henry proud, not gonna lie.
Ember straight up might take a nap. Might at one point sort of doze off, and it's
It just starts snoring like, are you fucking serious?
Henri.
But
Henri is like, I'm sure she can handle the pain, but looks over and she's sleeping.
Time traveling technique right here.
yeah, so you get all tatted up, and it, like Henri said, it took about half the day. But yeah, now you have your tattoos of what are they called again?
The map maker's tattoo.
Yeah, you have your map maker's tattoos.
There you go. After Amber's probably done, I think Henry would ask the apprentice to tattoo in another tally along one of his arms.
Mm-hmm.
It's super quick.
Yeah, he can do that. That's
Okay.
no problem.
Alrighty.
And with the tattoos, with everyone pretty much done for the night, that's where we're gonna leave it off.
All right.
Sounds good.
We'll go ahead and stop the recording then.
Yay! Yippee!